In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the new configuration files we have for 3ds Max 8. 3ds Max has always been able to customize paths to its assets and to its directories, but now we have a more robust mechanism to do so. If you go to the Customize menu, you will have two entries, Configure System and Configure User Paths. The system paths are the most important folders for 3ds Max assets: the default folder, fonts, Heidi drivers, help folder, plugin configure folders, startup scripts, and support scripts. You can modify these to anything that you want. We also have configure user paths. These paths are paths that the user will want to set, and you can modify them as needed. First, we have the External Files tab. This has entries for all of the external files that you might use, such as textures, maps, FX files, or downloads. We have a File I/O tab, which contains paths to folders where assets from imports and exports, such as scenes, material libraries, photometric lights. You can modify all these paths as needed. There's also a tab for XREFs, where you can add your paths to all of the XREF objects you might be using that could be on a server. And a third-party plugins tab, where you can point 3ds Max to any third-party plugins you might be using. The important part about this dialog is you can now save, load, and merge paths onto your scene and then manage them on a project basis. So we can take all the paths and save them out. And save them out, we'll just save these as our default. And all the paths are saved. If we want to load the paths for a different project, the GNOME project that we're working on, we can just click on Load. It can be recalled depending on what we want. If we delete some of these paths out here, or if they're modified in any way, we can remerge them from the default, and it brings in any of the ones that are missing. So this is a really robust and useful tool for managing assets on different projects. This dialog is also integrated into the asset tracking that comes with 3ds Max 8, and we can go to Paths, Configure User Paths, and it'll bring up the same dialog. So you can do it through asset tracking or through the Customize menu. And this will allow you to configure for personal projects or your personal needs all the assets that you want to have, so that you don't have to go digging through network paths in order to get them.